5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
They're here.
Rise, my nation. Gather around and prepare. Our pride will be restored. Our shadow will fall with wicked damnation. Rise, my nation. Rise. This is your nation. This is our nation. This is the Raider Nation. Can you dig it?
What is the deal, Raider Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Lunatic Raider Show, right here on Raiders Allegiance with your boy Lunatic Raider, man. We got a good show for you today. We're going to take a look at the Raiders' chemistry, team chemistry. We got little bits and pieces from Jackson Power Johnson on the Rush podcast with Max Crosby, and we got some outtakes from Pete Carroll with the presser at today's today's OTA presser that they had today. Just little insights, and I got a video from another content creator that breaks all this down as well, which I agree with it 100%. So, without further delay, man, shout out to the world's most dangerous chat, man. We in the building once again. We got Raider Paul in the building, dropping them what?
I'm out of town. There you go. There you go.
Dropping them Raiders on you. You already know. Hey, you better have a hard hat on because them Raiders are just falling out the sky. You feel me? Shout out to Robert Pena in the building, man. Salute to you. Billy Davis in the building, man. Salute, man. Hope all is well with you. Raider Fool Chris, what it do, man? Salute. We good, brother. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day, y'all. Yeah, make sure you don't get caught humping around. That's all that matters. Navy Vet, my guy, man. Salute to you, my brother. Check out all the links that Navy Vet is supplying in the chat, man. We got a lot of stuff going on from TikTok, the Raider Vision. You guys already know the routine, man. We in here doing it thick. Shout out to everybody watching, man. Appreciate y'all on Instagram as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. Facebook groups under Raiders Allegiance, and here on YouTube under Raiders Allegiance, man. Thank y'all for pulling up, man. Who else we got up in the building, man? We in here for real, for real. Hold on. I'm scrolling too quick. Slow down, Tick. I'm trying to. SoCal Sound in the building, man. What it is. Salute to you, my brother. Hope all is well. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Let me keep it going. Let me clear my throat. Be out in the building, man. Salute to you. Hope all is well. Let me see. What else we got up in here, man? I gotta scroll, man. Y'all way ahead of me, bro. Damn. I had the Raider rundown. Hold on, I gotta do it like we doing a boxing match in Vegas. The Raiders rundown in the building. My guy right there, man. Salute to you. Yeah, man, we're gonna get into it. I had a little difficulties. When I was setting up my live, I did not select the YouTube channel for it to be aired to. So I was like, well, why is it not showing on YouTube? And I looked up at the top of my header where I can see all the platforms I'm streaming to, and YouTube wasn't on there, but it was selected within the studio. Like, it's selected, why it's not airing? So I had to log out and go back in and load it in, and now we all rocking and rolling, man. Salute to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for real. All right. So I'm just gonna hold up a minute. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do, we can start this show, man. We can start this show right now. Shout out, I should have had me a drink right now. You know what I mean? I should have had at least a beer for y'all. Salute to the night. You know what? Fuck that. Y'all better than water. I'm about to go get me a cup of beer. I'll be right back, y'all. Matter of fact, Yeah, I'll be right back, y'all. Hey, we gonna do this the right way today, boy. We got a nice show for y'all. I'll be right back. All right, Lunatik is back. All right, let's get into the festivities. Yes, indeed, man. I got these videos lined up, man. We're going to get in and check out what JPJ said on the rush, as well as Pete Carroll at the OTAs. You feel me? So, with that being said, man, shout out to everybody, man. Please subscribe, like, and share. And once we hit 3,000, we are giving away a free television to one lucky subscriber. One lucky subscriber will win a television. 10-inch. What Mike G always say, it's gonna be a 10-inch TV with the rabbit ears. You see, this thing went old school with it. All right, so let's dive into this real quick, man. Nice little telling factors with our team. I like to know behind the scenes since we can't be there, and I don't trust the outside pundits because they're basically gonna create narratives that, you know what I mean? If they don't like us, they're gonna create narratives to reflect that. Then some people like to premature ejaculate. For those that don't know what that means you're coming too quick. Stop premature anything. They're in OTAs. They're in a new offense. You got a new quarterback, new running back, new system. I'm hearing people up there. Geno threw 3 interceptions today, bruh. So what? You're factoring that in and not factoring the fact that the interceptions went to our defense? Don't we need turnovers on our defense? So I want to see a tug of war. I want to see one day the offense does good, the next day the defense come back and counters. That's the only way we're gonna get better. But they just put that narrative. Oh yeah, it's kind of concerning, alarming that Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions, AOC threw 1. What the freaking frack you think is gonna happen in OTAs? The first time these guys really get down with each other in a brand new offense, and you're throwing the new receivers, you got new running back. Like I said, once again, you got new coaches. Like we gonna hit the ground, like we gonna just come out looking like the damn. I'm gonna go old school with it, like the damn 77 Raiders. You know what I mean? Come on, bruh. Y'all tripping. All y'all motherfucking all this concerning. Is it? I thought it would be more concerning if it happened in a real game against somebody else's defense. I want my defense to get interceptions. Because that's what we're going to need this year. And that's the reason why I believe Pete Carroll went out there and got these long, lanky secondary players at safety and corner, because we want a wide range of coverage. If our front four gets pressure, man, and makes that quarterback from that other team throw when he doesn't want to, guess what happens? Bingo! Bing bong! Interception. All right, y'all, let's get into it, man. I'm gonna get into JPJ first. With him talking about the aura in the building, how everything is infectious and spreading with the loving to be at practice, wanting to get great, developing that camaraderie with your brethren in the silver and black, man. So without further delay, man, we're gonna get into it. This is Jackson Powers Johnson. Let me turn this off real quick. Jackson Powers Johnson on the aura in the freaking fracking building. Let's go.
I'm excited to go into work. It's not, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm dreading. It's like, okay, like I'm excited to get into the building. And I think a lot of that comes from, being around good energy like you and then Pete and, those other guys. I think I think it's a huge part. I think it's getting really contagious in the building. I think you're seeing people excited to walk in, like breakfast clubs getting bigger, more people, like the rookies are starting to come in a little bit earlier. I think it's translating so much because we're working really hard. This is a hard profession that we do, but we're having so much fun doing it.
And so that's good to hear. Now you're hearing. See, this is when we're coming to the part where we want to change the culture. So you have someone like Pete Carroll that has been down this street before. He know what yard has the dog that's unchained. He knows what, you know what I mean? What nosy neighbor is always looking at what he knows what he's been down this street. He knows what you have to do to change the culture and develop you a competing team that is contention of either playoffs or a Super Bowl. That's Pete Carroll. And so when you hear someone like a second-year center in JPJ mention that is starting to spread through the building, that something is the culture. It's a culture change in full effect, where it goes down to every player, where every player you start noticing they're coming in early, they're staying late, they're asking more questions. And that's exactly what you want, because this team is not an old team. If you think about it, who's the oldest person on this team? Geno Smith. That's it. Everybody else is in their 20s. Geno Smith. That's the oldest person. He's 34. That's a young team. And they're going to continue to get younger, because especially with the additions of the guys from Philly and Denver in the front office to help with the draft next year, now you get more insight. You're going to get better guys in here to compete as well. And this is the process that we must take for the maturation of this team to become a contender in the NFL, to get back to where we once were, back to the future. Hey, back to the future. That should be the mantra of this year's season. Back to the future. Back to what the Raiders used to be. Not the 2000 Raiders, but the Raiders when we were winning Super Bowls. When everybody had the same demeanor. Want to go out there and compete and beat the dog shit out of the competition. But afterwards, shake hands and be like, have a nice day. Jackson Powers talked about all that, man. But, oh, yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. He said Brock Bowers, Brock Bowers, think DeMokes. Shout out to DeMokes, man. He said Brock Bowers' presser today was pause-worthy. Ah, shit. I hope it was menopause. Stop the bleeding. All right, let me quit. So let's get back into it, man. Here's Jackson Power Johnson. Do I want to go to this one right now? Yeah. Let's talk about, since we're talking about the aura in the building changing and spreading through everybody, and then we're talking about, let's talk about Geno Smith. Now, here's a telltale sign of what Geno Smith brings at the quarterback position. Everybody wants to think that he's only mid, but there's more than just being mid, and it's also the pieces around you that dictates to the quarterback what type of quarterback he's going to be. If you're put in a damn good situation, like look at Purdy. Purdy ain't shit, but look what he got around him that gave him 50. He should take everybody on his team out to lunch. Oh, fuck lunch. Dinner. Purdy should take everybody on the 49ers out for dinner, because they made him look good. Now watch this. With all with all the turnover that the Niners had this year with trades and letting people walk, let's see if that $50 million smells like, tastes like, and sounds like a top-tier quarterback. Oh, it's going to be we going to see it. We're going to see it. These quarterbacks are getting paid. Now, you got some elite quarterbacks that get paid for their natural ability and what they bring to the table. And I think Geno Smith is bringing something to the table that this team lacks. So without further ado, man, we're going to get in Jackson Power Johnson on what he thinks about Geno Smith, man. Let's go.
With you and Geno, just talk to us about your time so far with him, and what are you most excited about having him in the huddle and just kind of being the general for you guys this year?
Yeah, so kind of the first reactions about Geno, I didn't really have an opinion on him, but I remember just sitting at breakfast and Max being fired up. So if Max is fired up, this is gonna be a good thing. And then right when he kind of walked into the building, like I went up to him and just dapped him up, and he's like, "Hey, look, let's talk protections." I'm like, That's like that's dirty talk for a center, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Already was like locked in, got his number, and then we kind of texted back and forth. And he was like, "Hey man, like I'm out in Fort Lauderdale. Like you should come out. Like I'll fly you out or whatever, put you up, and like let's get some snaps in and like just get some good fellowship." And it was such a great kind of weekend. First time really in Fort Lauderdale and in Miami, so that's kind of an experience. But
It's a little different.
yeah, a little different. But yeah, just went and got some good food. We got some snaps. But he's just he's such a good dude. I mean, there's kind of like you can tell with quarterbacks, you're either gonna get like a couple of personalities. You're either gonna get the really quiet, stern, like does not really have like a social life, and then you
Yeah.
have the one that's like party over, and you're like, dude, how are you even a quarterback? And I think Gino's right in the middle of that, where he's just
Yeah.
like personable, eats with his O line all the time, like isn't afraid to go out and have some fun. But like when it comes to football, that dude knows so much knowledge and is so locked in. And it's super refreshing to see because I've played with a lot of great quarterbacks in my time. It makes me feel old saying that, but
In my
I,
time.
I've in my time, no, I've been around a lot of elite talent, and he kind of sets himself apart of just his knowledge and just how much fun he likes to have with.
My name is D Nice. My name is D Nice.
D Nice in the building. I see you, bruh. Shout out to Alec M as well, man. Salute to you. Thank you for pulling up. But yeah, man, that is exactly. Oh, Lobby One, what's the deal, dog? Man, Lobby, where you been, bro? You can't be MIA from the family over here, bro. You know what I mean? But I know how life works, man. It throws us curveballs and fastballs, and we just gotta swing as we know. But hey, man, hey, thank you for coming in, man. I appreciate it for real. So that was JPJ on Geno Smith. See, this is now we're getting insight of the chemistry of the team. That's why I say to look at the team's chemistry. Geno Smith is going to be that glue on the offense that brings all this together. Because like JPJ said, when he got there and met Geno for the first time, Geno was like, let's go over coverages. And I'm like, we're not coverages. With with JPJ. I forgot what he said. But he said, let's go, let's work. And flew him out to Florida. It was immediately. This was before Geno even got his extension. He had JPJ in Florida working out with him. That's somebody who wants to win. That is someone who's bringing into an organization that lacks the mentality and focus to want to be great. Now, there were some other things JPJ mentioned that kind of let me know last year that there was like he said that JPJ said last year was the most games he ever lost in his life. In his life. And he said, that's not me. And so last year, you can tell there's some people that's probably gone from his team that was okay with losing because he recognized that. He said there was people that, well, he didn't say their name, but he said, I can see I'm not gonna be used to losing. He was basically saying that there were people that was okay with it. Sound like they were there for a check and that was it. It's okay if they lost. That's why tanking is very, very difficult situation when it comes to these players. When you got players like JPJ, you can't tell guys like that to quit. He told a story when he got suspended from recess because they were whatever game they were playing. He said, "I want to win. I wanted to win. I wanted to win." And when the kids weren't winning, because he kept winning, they went and told on him. And the teachers tried to tell him, let them win sometimes. He said, no, that's not what is taught in my household. We're not taught to lose. So that's why I have a problem with people saying tanking. That means lose on purpose. We don't have players that have that mentality. And those who did, I bet you they're not here no more. I bet you they're not here no more. This is not a team that wants to be okay with losing. I don't fuck a draft pick. Everybody want to lose to get Shador. How'd that work out? Shador was still there in the 5th. How that work? Why would we have tanked for Shador Sanders and he didn't go to the 5th round? It would have been all for naught. And we got Genty exactly where we needed to get Genty. Because you wasn't going to get Genty later in the 1st round because people were on him. They were on him. But yeah, man, that's the one thing about JPJ. That telltale sign about Geno Smith is Geno Smith is the guy that we need at quarterback. We don't need nobody that's like resilient, not resilient, but reserved. You know what I mean? That's not really vocal. I want a vocal guy. I want a guy to work with a guy, not down him because he made a mistake, but tell him, I know you can do better. That's what we need, and that's what we got. So the chemistry is now beginning to chemist. if I can even use that as an analogy, the chemistry is now beginning to chemist, which the chemist in the lab is the one to create the chemistry amongst the ingredients that we need. Okay, so we're gonna keep going on, man. Off onto the Geno subject some more. Pete Carroll at the presser also made a statement about Geno and how he is in the OTAs right now. Let me find it real quick. All right, so this is Pete Carroll on Geno Smith at OTAs.
To me, he's been emblematic of what a leader should be by his habits and by the way he brings himself every day. He's the first guy out here. He's the last guy to leave. It's really important to him that he stands for what leadership is all about. And he's a good football player too. He's looked great in practice so far. So we're really excited about what he's bringing.
We need that leader. So now you got JPJ talking about it on the Rush podcast, and you got Pete Carroll, which we already knew. That's why Pete Carroll wanted him. Pete Carroll know what he can get out of him. Pete Carroll knows if you put the certain things around him, he's going to be successful. He was the 12th ranked quarterback last season. 12 out of 32. Maybe even more because some quarterbacks went down, others came in. So past 32. He graded higher than all of them. When I said all of them is all behind number 12. And there were some names there. The names that we were talking about, we should go after in free agency or try to trade for. The only quarterback that was ranked higher than Geno Smith last season that we went after was Matt Stafford. Stafford was ranked 8th. Geno was 12th. Everybody else, I don't care if it was Russell Wilson. I don't care if it was, who else did they mention? They mentioned Russell Wilson. They mentioned from Minnesota was ranked behind Geno. I'm saying that was the best available at the time. We went after Matt Stafford. We didn't get him, but we got Geno Smith, top 12 quarterback indeed. All right, so let me get on Pete Carroll. A lot of people wondering about Christian Wilkins. Those who watched the presser seen that Pete Carroll gave us an insight on it, which it's a continuum process with him. So I don't know if it was a setback or just a long rehab trying to work out, because there was things out there that said he started off in the boot last year after surgery. He came out the boot at the end of the year and then had to go back into the boot in the all season. So now he's back in the boot from what they said, but we got time. First game ain't till September. So, you know what I mean? So we got to slow down and just see what the process is. But I wonder if they went into the draft with this knowledge of knowing there's a possibility he can miss time. That's why you go out there and you draft 2 defensive tackles. Now it's starting to like, okay, they're covering it, which you're supposed to do. You need the depth, you need the competition, but at the same time, if one can't go, you got bam. We bump the next guy up and get these young guys in the depth rotation behind them. So I think these guys really had that in mind. But here's Pete Carroll on Christian Wilkins.
Where's Christian Wilkins at in his recovery process?
Yeah, this has been a difficult recovery, and he's done everything he needs to do. He's been here every day. He's here early, working hard, but we're still working it, and he's not ready to get back out. And we're in the midst of a long, challenging process here. So, fortunately, there's a lot of time, and we're going to take every bit of it. we've really tried to be really diligent about the way we've worked it and the way we've monitored it and all of that. And he's been on board the whole time. So, but it has been challenging.
And here's another misinformation that's being put out there. It is not a Liz Frank injury. It's a Jones fracture. It's a different injury. It's not Liz Frank. You know what I mean? Usually the Jones fracture, if you see me do the show last year when he did get hurt, I broke it down to you with a doctor telling you what a Jones fracture is. Usually you can have a recovery time of 6 weeks. It is a fact that Christian Wilkins was playing on it before he decided to go surgery route. Sometimes you can go and let it heal on its own, but that process would take longer than getting surgery to speed up the recovery. So it all varies, but you got to remember, he's not a little dude. He's a big dude, a lot of weight. Your feet is the last part of your body that carries all the weight of your body. You know what I mean? So you got to take care of your feet. But I understand that the process is slow, but we have time. Once again, we are only in May, mid-May, getting towards the end of May, and we will get into September when the season starts. And he has time to go ahead and now he got the doctors and whatever else that he needs to make sure that he gets through this. So that's one good thing that we could look at is the time that we have. Also, one thing Pete Carroll also talked in his presser, which, you know what I mean? Like, remember I told you Brock Bowers was a rookie last year, and we seen what he did. And I told you the scary shit is he's not even at his ceiling. That's not his ceiling. So when I hear Pete Carroll go in and they talked about Brock Bowers, and they talk about Brock Bowers, you start getting a little excited, like Brock Bowers out there doing, you know what I mean, trying to do his thing. So here's Pete Carroll on Brock Bowers from OTAs, man, making tremendous catches and so forth. But the work with Geno, this is the thing that I'm looking at, because this is one of Geno's weapons. That's why I say it's good. These guys got to get acclimated to each other. Geno has to get acclimated to Bowers. Bowers got to get acclimated to the way Geno throws. It's all built in the same thing. So Geno is what makes the weapons go, and the offensive line is going to make Geno go. So everything has to work together. Thus, the machine as a whole is greater than the sum of its parts. We worried about the whole machine, because if one thing ain't working, none of it's working. So without further delay, man, here is Pete Carroll on Brock Bowers and how he looks in OTAs.
He has shown already. He's only been here 2 weeks because he was graduating, finished his coursework. You know, hats off to him for getting that done. From the moment he stepped on the field, he did everything you could possibly ask of him. His study habits, his work habits, his focus on a regular basis. He's making the catches and the plays. Geno already knows who's out there. He knows where 89 is, and he's found him a ton of times already. And he just makes himself so available. It's like what you saw last year. You know, on a team that was struggling, he still just continued to show really positive and good attributes, and he's doing it from this point forward. So he's a big part of the offense for sure. Chip knows he's out there too.
And there it is, man. Hey, Brock Bowers out there getting the work in, developing chemistry, once again, chemistry with Geno Smith, man. I love it. I seen some of the highlights of what's going on with there, working with Geno, working with Ashton Genty going ahead and changing his stance from the request of Chip Kelly. So everything is being fine-tuned now. You're going to get a lot of mistakes now. This is what you need to go ahead and learn and go through the process of development. This is development, and not just only development, but also building your roster, getting the roster to have that gel, to be able to gel. And once it's time to get out there for the real deal, Holyfield, you hit the ground running. So there's a lot that this team has to go through now. Like we said, we ain't even started camp yet. This is just OTAs. And also, I want to mention, what is it? Michael Barnett. Is it Barnett? Barrett? Michael Barrett, linebacker that was a fourth round pick from Carolina. The Raiders brought him in, 5'11", was he 232? I'm trying to remember off the mind. You know what I mean? I try to keep the information from getting out of my ear. And when I read like this. No, I'm fucking with y'all. But shout out to everybody out there, man. Once again, let me see who's up in the building, man. We in here this morning or afternoon. I'm tripping. Top of the evening, bottom of the afternoon, man. We got Justin Brown in the building, man. Salute to you. The secondary made some plays. 4 NTs is nice. See, hey, that's what I'm saying, bro. See, everybody looking at when they hear Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions, they look at the glass of being half empty. But when you look at the team and it's our teammates doing this and we want turnovers from our defense, that is the reason why I think we went and got, I know we went and got long, lanky corners. Why else would you want a long corner with a wide wingspan? Because it's more area he can cover. More chances of getting an interception where I can reach and get the ball. Just imagine a fool 6 inches shorter. Not that he's gonna be that short, because we do got 6'4" and 6'3" safeties. You know what I mean? But 4 inch, just say 4 inch, you got a 6 inch. I mean a 6 inch. You got a 6 foot safety. 5'11", 5'10". They're not gonna be able to extend as much as a 6'4" guy would. So now you're covering more area. You got long. I mean, just imagine. Just put yourself in the quarterback shoe of another team. You're back behind your line of scrimmage. Now, not only do you have to worry about the front 4, Max Crosby, hopefully Wilkins get healthy enough to start the season. You got Kuntz back, healthy. I'm just looking at it like, if the pressure ain't gonna get to him and he throws out there, you got these long, in the corners too, you got these long, rangy secondary players that's like, your windows become like this now. Because like all this length and size is covering all your receivers. And now we can cover tight ends. Cover tight ends. It's not gonna be a common thing to get a tight end that's running a 4.4. You know what I mean? But you got guys like Palomar, who was a 4.35 40 at 6. What is he, 6'4"? Yeah, Palomar, 6'4", 220. Ran a 4.35. He can, man, make sure these tight ends don't get in the middle of the field and just sit there in a wide open space. But we got long-rangey guys that can knock balls away, intercept balls, tip balls. You know what I mean? Oh, that's pause worthy too. Have you ever had your balls tipped? That's not even a thing, but now, hey, somebody gonna say that shit. But yeah, man, it's a lot to look forward to. Let me get this other thing up if I can, because right now these suckers. Hold on, real quick. I'm trying to get this file up, and I need the volume, baby. I need the volume on. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got the bink. Here we go. Yeah, we in the building now. Now I want to get to this content creator. Football field, I think it was. Hold on, let me give him a shout out, because I don't like using, doing a reaction to people's shit and not giving them their props. Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on real quick. Daddy will be right back. I just God dang it. View your channel. Okay, here it is. Fanatic Field. This guy is named Fanatic Field. Does content on NFL, but he's talking about the Raiders in this one. So without further delay, man, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna rock out the dude and listen to what he got to say, man. I'm yelling in the shit mute. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let me get it going.
Nobody expected
Let me
the
know if
Las
y'all can
Vegas
hear it in the
Raiders to
chat.
become one of the most unpredictable forces in the NFL, but that's exactly what's happening. Behind the chaos of trades, coaching shakeups, and locker room questions, this team has quietly rebuilt something far more dangerous: momentum. And it's not just hype anymore. Rookie camps are revealing breakout weapons, new hires are reshaping the front office, and for the first time in years, there's real belief building in the desert. But here's the twist. While everyone else is focused on the Dolphins' meltdown or the Jets' circus, the Raiders are making moves that could flip the AFC on its head. At the center of this rise is a quarterback decision that caught everyone off guard. Geno Smith, written off more than once in his career, is now stepping into a Raiders offense that might be the most balanced unit he's ever led. With a new playbook, a chip on his shoulder, and a roster full of overlooked talent, he's walking into a perfect storm. And if you're still thinking of the old Geno, the one known for interceptions, you're about to be surprised. Because when you actually dig into the numbers, he didn't just survive last season, he quietly outperformed most starters in the league. So now the question isn't if the Raiders can be competitive, it's how far this new look offense can take them. Because when you put a motivated veteran quarterback behind center and surround him with the kind of weapons Las Vegas is putting on the field, you don't just hope for success, you start to expect it.
Facts.
And that's where things really start to get dangerous. Let's break down what Geno brings to this offense and why he might be the biggest wild card in the AFC this year. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Raiders and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video.
Shout out
Geno
Samaj,
Smith
man,
isn't
my
just
dog in
another
the building.
placeholder quarterback. They chose him. Out of every direction,
RJ
the Raiders
Cool
could have
Raider in the
gone,
building,
they locked
salute.
in on a veteran who's been through the fire and still came out swinging. And while most people are stuck on the 15 interceptions he threw last season, what nobody's talking about is this. Geno finished 4th in the league with 4,320 passing yards and completed over 70% of his throws. That's not a fluke. That's production. He didn't land in Vegas by accident.
Nope.
This is a system that was handpicked for him. And under Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll, he's about to get the one thing every quarterback needs: structure with freedom. What makes Geno so dangerous in this offense isn't just his arm. It's the fact that he's walking into a scheme that rewards fast reads, quick decisions, and mobile playmakers. And that's exactly where he thrives. He's no longer being asked to carry a broken team. He's being asked to steer a machine that's finally been built to move. With targets like Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers already in sync and young receivers ready to explode, Geno doesn't have to be perfect, he just has to be efficient. And when he is, this offense becomes a nightmare to defend. But here's what might change everything. Geno has never had this level of offensive talent around him, ever. The numbers say he's capable. The tape says he's composed. And the Raiders' new coaching staff believes he's the answer. This isn't a rebuild anymore. It's a controlled ignition. And the firepower around Geno might just be enough to shock the entire AFC. But weapons only matter if they're used the right way. So let's talk about the guys who are going to help him light it up. If you're only looking at the Raiders' win-loss column from last season, you'll miss the truth. Because buried under the noise is an offense that's quietly loaded with mismatches, youth, and explosion. It starts with Brock Bowers, a tight end who doesn't play like one. He finished last season with 112 catches and nearly 1,200 yards, even though defenses were doubling him every single game. He wasn't just a safety valve, he was the offense at times. And now, with more help around him, he's set to become even more dangerous. If he put up those numbers with chaos at quarterback, just imagine what happens when the system finally stabilizes. Right next to him is Jacoby Myers, a receiver who doesn't need highlight reels to prove his value. He had 0 drops on 126 targets, made contested catches look routine, and turned into the guy quarterbacks trust when everything breaks down. And he did all of that with rotating signal callers and a constantly shifting playbook. This year, he's no longer fighting for attention. He's part of the foundation. And with the spotlight off him, he's going to keep producing in the background just like he always does. But the wild card in all of this? Jack Besh. A rookie with over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns in his final college season at TCU, he's already shown flashes that scream breakout. He's not flashy, but he's physical. Not fast, but precise. Defenses won't plan for him, but they'll feel him. And when you add that to an already dangerous tight end and a proven wideout, you don't get a typical offense. You get one that's quietly built to surprise teams every single week. But none of it works if the trenches don't hold. And that brings us to the biggest question mark of them all. Every explosive offense starts with protection, and right now, The Raiders' offensive line is walking a tightrope. Last season, they gave up 50 sacks, one of the highest totals in the league, and their run blocking struggled to open consistent lanes. It's not about a lack of effort, it's about execution. And in an offense built on speed, tempo, and timing, one missed block doesn't just kill a play, it kills momentum. The scary part is that this group isn't stacked with big-name reinforcements. The front office made minimal additions this offseason, betting instead on internal development. That's not panic, it's belief. But belief has to become performance. One name to keep an eye on is Dylan Parham. Still young but experienced, he's got the athleticism and football IQ to anchor the middle. But only if he becomes more consistent against elite interior pass rushers. Last year, he showed flashes. This year, he needs to become a constant. The offensive system under Chip Kelly demands quick decision-making from the quarterback and instant cohesion from the line. If the pocket breaks down early, it throws the entire rhythm off. So every snap, every second matters more than ever. While most fans fixated on the players, the Raiders quietly made a move that could reshape the franchise for years, hiring Brandon Hunt as Vice President of Player Personnel. This wasn't a flashy headline or a viral moment, but it might be the smartest decision Vegas made all.
Let me stop it. That is going to be a big move for this Raiders team going forward. Vice President of Player Personnel, the guy that we got is throughout the league. Everybody's just touted this guy's the guy, and we got him. So after this draft, I think the draft picks that we got in this Spytech, now not to say take anything from Spytech, but Spytech did his thizzle, considering he didn't have his guys yet. He added his guys now. So next year, next year's draft is going to be, to me, better than this year's draft. This past draft that we had, next year is going to blow it out the water because you're deep at offensive lineman. You're deep at linebacker. You're deep at quarterback. And we're going to talk about quarterbacks too. Matter of fact, I'm going to save that subject for this Friday when we do Friday night feature. Yes, Friday night feature. Y'all stay tuned and see who the guest is going to be. It should be some good conversation and covering some stuff with the Raiders looking forward. So with that, man, let me go ahead and continue on. Let me shut the hell up and let y'all do y'all thizzle.
Offseason. Hunt isn't new to building winning teams. He spent over a decade with the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most stable franchises in the NFL, and helped construct rosters that never had a losing season. Then he joined the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that built through smart drafting, aggressive roster management, and yes, a Super Bowl appearance. Hunt wasn't just there, he was in the room making decisions. Now he brings that mindset to a Raiders organization that has long struggled with consistency and talent evaluation. What makes him different is his attention to detail. He isn't just looking for star players, he's searching for guys who fit the system, bring culture, and win in the small moments. That's what separates good teams from great ones. So now it's your turn. Do you believe the Raiders are building something real? Can Geno Smith take this team further than anyone expects? Will Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers become the league's most slept-on duo? Or is this just another offseason mirage in the desert? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more raw, story-driven breakdowns like this, hit that like button, subscribe. Because we're just getting started.
Sir. So that was that, man. Very telling. I like the breakdown that this gentleman gave. Fanatics Field. Shout out to him, man, and the content he keeps throwing out there. Great content. Like I said, we're calling Spytech and them Dr. Frankenstein, bro. They're building a monster. They're building a monster, and they're doing it the right way. The way that we have not seen in years. We have not seen in years, and they're doing it. Let me see what else we got out there. Luis Barrios, salute. Barrio, you be on some shit, bro. Hey, you Google that. Now, okay, Google this. Since you're good at Googling, use your thumbs and type this in. Is the 2026 NFL Draft deep at linebacker? And I'll wait. And then tell me what it says. I'll wait. Like I told you, you want to go into last year. Why would you want to go into last year's draft and the depth of linebacker isn't there? Same with quarterback. I'm laughing at Tennessee. You got Cam Ward, but Cam Ward would have been they got him ranked as the 6th quarterback in the previous draft, but you took him number 1 overall. That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. But when you go into next year's draft, look up the linebackers that's coming out. Look at both of the Perkins boys. Hill. There's a shitload of linebackers next year, top tier linebackers, first round pick linebackers in next year's draft, along with quarterbacks. I already covered a couple of them. Shout out to Lamorris Sellers, South Carolina quarterback, as well as, and I'm impressed by Arch Manning, bruh. Arch Manning impressed the shit out of me when I dove in deeper to really know his stats and know what he brings to the table. Yeah, put it like this. He's the most athletic Manning to ever play football. Let me just say that again. He is the most athletic Manning to ever play football. Way more athletic than Peyton, I'm tripping, Peyton or Eli. Or they dad. This dude, right? Hey, Arch Manning, I'm like, damn, he got wheels too. Dual threat is a quarterback that we're going to go in search for. I know a lot of people say, oh, Shador. That's not Shador's MO. He's not a dual threat quarterback. Chip Kelly knows what he wants. And next year, we got everything knocked out of the way. Linebackers next year is deep as shit. If you did as much research on the linebackers as you did on the 7th round linebacker we got, come on, bruh. Did you think just because it's a linebacker, he was going to be a starter in the 7th round? Come on, that's special team shit. He might not even make the team. That's why he was taken at 7. We had more needs than a linebacker. Our run game sucked ass last year. We were last in the league in rushing. But you want to take a linebacker in the 1st round that can't run the ball. Come on, bro. We gotta be more logical with these analysis that we come up with this team. I know we need linebackers. That's a no doubt. But why will we just rush the judgment in this last draft that's not as deep as next year's draft at linebacker? You take care of the needs last year in a draft at those positions that were plentiful. Then you come into next year's draft, look at the new guys they added. They added, like I said, the president of player personnel from Philly, dude from Denver. They brought in guys that when we hit the draft next year, you want a linebacker? Don't be surprised if we get one of the top 5 linebackers in the draft next year. Don't be surprised if we get one of the top 5 quarterbacks next year. In your 1st and 2nd round picks, you're not going to draft a running back. You're not going to draft a wide receiver, tight end, defensive tackle. You're not going to, you know what I mean? It's like you got to you got to forecast. Forecast. Why would I want to go ahead and spend my draft picks on these linebackers that probably ain't going to never see the Hall of Fame? I'm just going to keep it real with you. The linebackers that we've seen in this past draft, they're serviceable. But not, I wouldn't even attach HOF to them. Maybe an HOA, depending on what neighborhood they live in. You know what I mean? But not an HOF, Hall of Famer. But you go into next year's draft, you got guys that potentially can be Hall of Famers. That's how deep at linebacker the draft is next year. You want to shoot your wad at the first bitch you meet at the bar last night, and then when you go into the bar tomorrow, you find a batter bitch. I'm just using an analogy, men. Women, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be chauvinistic and misogynist like that. But hey, I'm just using analogies men can understand. Come on now. Why are you saying we relying on the 7th round linebacker, bruh? He ain't even gonna start. He ain't even gonna see the damn rotation. Don't pay attention to the position. Pay attention to what the need is. Okay, so how do we fill our special teams? If we don't draft players for the special teams late in the draft, how do we address the special teams? You're not going to have your starters out there on special teams. Some may go out there, not all. You're not going to risk injury on special teams with just your top tier talent. Unless they can really, like back in the day, you would have a Tim Brown do a kickoff return. You would, you know what I mean? Punt return. But we talk about guys that's blocking. A linebacker in the 7th round is going to be blocking on special teams or going down to run down and get a tackle. You got to get where you going to get those guys from? What, Temu? You trying to get your linebacker, your special team players from Temu or Facebook Marketplace? Come on, bro. Salute, man. Salute to Mark Gaither, man. Salute. I know we feel cursed as Raider fans at times, but I agree with you, bruh. Like I said, we finally got stability. Consistency is your stability. And we finally got that in coaching, in the play. Like, I wish I could find the video I watched with Spy Tech doing an interview, and he said something that was profound to me. And it made a whole deal of sense. See, we're sitting here worrying about the talent these players got and not worried about the player. What kind of player are they? Are they going to go out there and work hard? Are they, you know what I mean? Do they love football? We're overlooking that just for, okay, I'll give you an example. Damon Arnett's. That's exactly what happened when we go Damon Arnett. You go get guys that, they can play the game, but as a person, they ain't shit. Yeah, I said it. Damon, I'm in Las Vegas, bro. I'm here. You may be bigger than me, boy, but I don't think you move like the Matrix, if you know what I mean. But hey, come on now. This dude's on fucking Instagram with guns and shit. Come on, we know a motherfucker that ain't from the street. You on social media showing heat that you gonna pull up. You stupid clown. That's why, and you trying to get back in the NFL. Let me see what dumbass team pick him up. So that's what happens when you're more concerned with how high he jumps and how far he throws, rather than saying what kind of person is he? Is he going to come in and affect the team in a positive way to make these youngsters be like, man, he's working like Max Crosby. He's working his ass off. He first one in, last one out. No, Arnett was the first one to make a stupid ass mistake on social media and the last one to try to find an NFL job in years later. I don't know if it's how you gave Spike Tech a C- for defense. I don't, to be honest with you, we can only grade by you can only grade a draft right now by potential. Not what, because they ain't did shit yet. They might be an F grade. Spike Tech might agree. Hey, Spike Tech's draft might be an F. If you want to keep everything in the real realm of possibilities, yes, it could be an F. But guess what? On the other side of the spectrum, it could be an A as well. Now, I've not ever been the one to be able to predict shit, because I did predict the Monday night game against the Chargers on week 2. Your boy did that one. You know, pat on the back. That's what happens when you do research and you just don't pull shit out your ass. You feel me? But yeah, man, there's a lot of positive things to look forward to. He said, is the speed coverage gone? What is you talking about, speed coverage? And I know exactly. Hey, y'all, shout out to Luis Barrios, aka Piano Man. Giving y'all a shot, giving y'all a heads up, and I can tell. I can tell the conversation. I can tell the conversation. Because I don't know no Raider fan that hates his team that much. Luis Barrios is Piano Man, y'all. William M. Yeah, we having good energy, bruh. Boy, I don't usually do shit, man, but I tell you what, I get tired of the negativity. That's like, why would you be with a bitch that just nag all the time? Can you imagine being in a relationship and you got a bitch that just nag? Fuck what you do right. It's always about what you do wrong. Nag. I'm gonna start being an asshole on this shit. I be trying to be neutral and be like, allow motherfuckers to do what they do. Oh, hold on, because I'm talking to myself now. Bam. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. All right. So we eliminated that shit. But anyway, back to the real fans of the nation. Sometimes you just gotta, sometimes you gotta make your son sit in the corner if you don't listen. You feel me? Shout out to Wild Turkey, man, in the building. My two sis in the building, man. We in here, man. We about to get up out of here, though. It is 4:00. We on the dot. I'm in my drop top. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy your hump day. Man, great show. I love the fact that the chemistry is starting to come together. Looking forward to what the season has in store. Not gonna sit here and say we're gonna win 8 games. Now, my guess, I'm guessing 8 or 9. But I'm starting to understand that it could be more. Because what's gonna happen is this team that we have now assembled will surprise people because there's nothing for you to go back and look at film and be like, okay, this is what Chip Kelly runs. No, that's what Chip Kelly ran with those weapons. What Chip Kelly runs with our weapons is going to look different because we have different weapons than that other team. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you watch me out there in battle. You see me with a sword. Like, we see Lunatic. We know what Lunatic does with a sword. Yeah, you do. But you never see me with a motherfucking pistol. Oh, we ain't got no film on that one. Exactly. Am I quick draw McGraw or am I a dead-eye shooter? You're gonna have to find out the hard way. How? Just jump out there on the field and go face to face, mano y mano. You find out the hard way. That's just like these football teams. I know what that team did. Like, for instance, they're gonna look at Ohio State. People gonna look at Ohio State offense and be like, "Oh, that's what Chip Kelly's gonna do with the Raiders." But Ohio State didn't have an Ashton Genty. Oh, yeah, they had a couple of running backs there, but they weren't Ashton Genty. They didn't have a Brock Bowers. They didn't have a Jacoby Myers. They didn't have a Jack Besh or a threat like Dante Thornton. You didn't have none of that. So how can you compare apples to oranges when the apples was in a different situation compared to where the oranges is at? So go watch all the film you went on Ohio State trying to figure out what the Raiders are going to do. Chip Kelly ain't that dude that's just going to be bland. He ain't going to cook you no chicken without seasoning. Even though that, maybe in the past he has in the kitchen. But, hey, Chip Kelly ain't going to give you unseasoned chicken. Ain't going to be basic. It ain't going to be something that's just bland and basic like, oh, it's just chicken. No, he going to give you some shit like, oh, god dang, that chicken, the finger licking good. Oh, yeah. That's what Chip Kelly's going to do with what he has. He doesn't give you the same thing. If you give him different ingredients, he going to come with a different meal. I love my analogies, boy. I should write a book of analogies. You give Chip Kelly different ingredients, he's coming with a different meal. So go watch all the film on Philadelphia and UCLA and Oregon and Ohio State and the 49ers. Go ahead, consume all that information. So when you get out there on that field with us, you thought wrong. You misjudged. You studied wrong. What they say in the domino game, if you study long, you study wrong. Yeah, study a long time. So you can be wrong for a long time. We know what we're doing. You got too much knowledge in that for you to even question a Pete Carroll and a Chip Kelly and a Patrick Graham for what they're doing, and they've been doing this for years. Some of y'all weren't even born when they started doing this shit. But I'm telling you, just keep your eye. Let's watch the journey together. Don't have a preconception of exactly what's going to happen because we don't know. We don't know what a Chip Kelly's offense looks like with the pieces that we gave him now. Facts. I'm just giving it to you raw and uncut. We don't know what Chip Kelly's offense looks like until they get out there and show us. Week 1, New England. Come on now, let's go. It's not about just being positive, it's about being realistic. We don't know. We don't know what the defense look like. You might know Patrick Graham and what he's done in the past, but you think Carroll say, "Hey, I want that same exact defense." Let's keep it a buck. You think Pete Carroll is telling Patrick Graham, "I want that same exact defense you always coached in your whole career," or is he gonna tweak it to the way I want what you did here, but I'm gonna introduce this as well. Y'all got to remember, here's a noteworthy stat that none of y'all, well, somebody said it when I was watching the War Room, but they gave the wrong information. Pete Carroll, in his whole career of coaching in the NFL, has never won less than 7 games in a season. Go look it up. And you got to remember, he's been coaching for a long. You know what? Before I get up out of here, let's do this shit. Let's do this there one thing, man. I'm gonna show y'all a stat that's just crazy. Crazy work. He even his rook man is ridiculous, bro. We're gonna get to it. Hold on. I'm gonna bring this shit up. Y'all gonna be amazed by this stat. This is a hell of a stat, bro. And he outdoes every great coach out there. I say, except for John Madden got his ass though, but hey, John Madden got everybody. You know what I mean? Let me see his coaching career. Pete Carroll. Okay, here we go. I just passed it up. There we go. Oh, what is that shit? I gave y'all the wrong thing. Not 7-6. He never lost more. Not lost more. He never won less than 6 games in his career, even as a rookie coach. And we have people like Jimmy Johnson. We have people like Andy Reid, who all has won less games in their whole tenure. This guy, Pete Carroll, consistently, like, that's why I say 8 to 9 wins with the weapons side. He's been in situations that had to rebuild when he got there. This is not a rebuild. That's why I told people, and they kept saying, "No, this is a rebuild. This ain't no fucking rebuild. You don't have this much talent and this much players that were there before you got there on the roster and call it a rebuild. It's called a remodel. If you don't know what that is, okay, a rebuild. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about houses. Say I bought a house. It's kind of ran down, dilapidated. You know what I mean? I bought a house. But the inspector comes and say, "Hey, this house is not suitable. It's not livable. You can't live in it." So my only suggestion is to tear it down and rebuild it. You own the property, but the house is, we can't okay it. So I come in here and be like, okay, so we knock down the fucking house and we rebuild it because the house we had before wasn't shit. That's called a rebuild. You get rid of the old, you bring in the new. That's a rebuild. Let me show you what a remodel is. I buy a house. Some parts of it ain't that good. I don't like the way how small the living room is compared to the master bedroom. So what I do is I go in there and instead of tearing down the house, I tear down the living room and rebuild that. And I make my master bedroom bigger. That's a remodel. I'm taking the shit that's already there, the stuff that's okay, we're going to keep that shit. Majority of the house I'm keeping. But there's a few changes. I'm going to open up the kitchen because I want an island. I want everything. You know what I mean? But I want to keep the house I got, but just expand within the realms that's confined. That's a remodel. This team is being remodeled. Pete Carroll is remodeling this team. Now, before I continue on further, let me break this shit down to y'all. I'm gonna show you what you can only go by a person's pedigree. You can go by what a person has already accomplished. We can sit here and guess and think, oh, well, let's do this. Bam, here we go. Pete Carroll start coaching. We're going to get into this shit. Pete Carroll started coaching with the Jets in 1994. Some of y'all wasn't even born in 94. He won 6 games his first year. Total. That's the only year he was there. That was his first start. Now you look at New England. Hold on real quick. Why am I shit? Oh, shit. What the fuck is happening? My shit is possessed. My shit is possessed because wasn't nothing even touching my damn mouse. Hold on. I got to bring this shit all the way back up. I'm going to show you how impressive Pete Carroll is with organizations. Was this one here? Head coaching record. Okay, he got 1 year in with the Jets, had 6 wins. New England, first year in 1997, 10 wins. 98, 9 wins. 8 wins in 99. 7 wins in 2010 when he went to the Seahawks. 7 wins again in 2011. 11 wins in 2012. 13 wins in 2013 and won the Super Bowl. 12 wins in 2014. 10 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, 7 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins. Las Vegas, here he is. He never won less than 6 games, and that 6 games was the very first game he ever coached in his coaching career in the NFL. All the other experiences, he never won less than 7 games. Ever. That is impressive. Because we only won 4 games last year. You mean to tell me he's going to give us at least 7 wins? So an 8-9 win prediction it makes sense. It's feasible. So with that being said, man, let me shout out to everybody before I get up out here.
There you go. There you go.
You know what it is, man. Hey, thank y'all for pulling up, man. A great show. Great questions and shit, man. I shout out to all y'all. Like I said, I'm going to start deleting, getting rid of motherfuckers in the chat that's bringing that negative shit. It's not about, it's just constant, though. You just cry. Wah, wah, wah. Stick a bottle or a dick in your mouth. You know what I mean? But with that being said, man, you guys enjoy. Sorry for the vulgarness. Now I try to clean it up, but sometimes, some shit just needs to be said and said in a way where only a dumb motherfucker can understand it. So with that being said, man, you guys enjoy your hump day. Be safe. Make it back to your loved ones, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same Raider time, same Raider channel, man. It's the Lunatic Raider Show. We're going to cover some more shit. Believe that. I'm Lunatic Raider. And like I always say about this time, subscribe to the channel so we can get to 3,000 subscribers so we can give away one free TV. Check out RAIDERVision.com. That's www.RaiderVision.com. Man, check it out, man. We got a lot of things coming towards your way. We got a pool party set up in September, home opener at the Paris. It's coming at you live and direct. I'm Lunatic Raider, and I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm out this bitch.